Back on the Domino's post-game report, Carson-Newman wraps up a 48-7 win over the Pikeville Bears. Adam Cavalier, glad to be joined by Mike Turner. Mike, congratulations. Career win at number 1 for you as a head coach, and the second largest win for a head coach in their coaching debut here at Carson-Newman.
Wow. Well, that's it. It all goes back to what it is supposed to be about. It goes back to about those kids and being exciting, having great enthusiasm, executing. You always worry about execution on the first ball game, and I thought they executed well. They definitely were excited, and they flew around and got after it. And what a great job our assistant coaches have done in getting them prepared to play. And we'll go back and look at this film tonight because we got the kids coming back here at 5:55 a.m. in the morning, so they'll be happy watching film again. But we'll stay up, pull an all-nighter tonight, and great video, and we're going to find plenty we've got to improve on before we get ready to play next week.
You look at what the offense did, some first drive jitters, but then you score on 6 straight possessions. What was it about settling into a groove there?
I think, we're still predominantly a young football team, especially on offense. Still a lot of sophomores up there playing. Going to be older one day, and it's going to be great, all right? But right now we still got a bunch of young guys, and still it's the first game, and it's a step away here on a block. It's a step away here on a read. Step away here on being in the right place at the right time, and it's just that's experience. And, the old coach's axiom said all over the world, you're supposed to improve the most from the first game to the second. So, hey, we've got room to do that, and we've got something to go back to work on Monday.
Defensively, wow.
Wow, is that awesome? Wow.
I don't know. I don't remember exactly what the total yardage that Pikeville had at the half, but it wasn't much. Maybe 20-some-odd yards or so. 4 straight 3-and-outs to start the day for the defense. And Michael Watring and I were talking about who to talk to after this. There's not a guy that stands out statistically from this. What about the totality of the job that they did?
Well, that's what we're looking for. You know what I mean? That was impressive defense to come out and get after them and just snuff it down, shut it down, pitch a goose egg in the first half. In college football anymore, that's far and few in between finding those situations. But I've told everybody what I've seen in the spring and what these kids have done in fall camp. They believe. There's that word again. Hey, they believe, and they're getting after it, and they enjoy playing together and taking pride in it. It's not a one guy. It's a whole team deal. And, man, I'm so excited for those guys because what a way to grow up.
You mentioned this team being young. How big is it for you to get some reps for a lot of guys in this one?
Well, there's 2 parts about that. One, everybody's here been getting after it for 3 weeks. The more you can get in there and get a rep, the better. I mean, everybody comes out and practices so they get a chance to play. Second thing is experience-wise. Every kid, there's the old cliche again, is one snap away from being a starter, right? So we've got to get those kids that are in the next group and the next group behind some reps, get them more game experience, get some of those big-eyed look out of some of them, and get them down to playing.
One of the few veterans that you have on offense, Santonio Wimbush, only a junior, 15 carries, 118 yards, and 3 scores. Right. What made him successful carrying the football today?
Well, just his explosion. Okay, his explosion is something that I don't think people can duplicate in practice. All right. And that kind of explosion, he gets so fast to the line of scrimmage. He turns it up so fast when he catches a pitch. But he also plays behind his pads. That's a lost art of the running back in this world anymore. And a guy can play behind his pads, slips, tackles. But, man, what a great leader he's been. And I'm happy for him the way it worked out tonight.
Some weird – you and I were talking off air. There's some stuff to build on from this one, especially in special teams. A blocked PAT. How do you treat the stuff that does need to be improved upon from week 1 to week 2?
Well, it really wasn't blocked. We dropped the snap, okay? And so I'd take you to another lower level, all right? So we got to shore that up. That cost you a ball game. Miss hit a kick, got too many people on the field on a punt return. Those are mistakes that will cost you a ball game. Thank goodness we were in a situation that it wasn't horrendous, and we were able to recover from them and overcome them. But those kind of things, that's just game day. That's so many people being excited. I looked around one time in the offensive huddle. They had to have been 25 people. Kids are just excited. You rotated groups. The first group was still in it. The second group was in it, and extras were in it. Looked like a cast for Ben-Hur. So it's we've got to get some organizational things worked out a little bit so we can communicate better on the sideline.
You mentioned penalties. This is a team that was penalized about 80 yards a game and 10 times last season. Today it's only 6 times for about 30 yards. What did you preach in camp that leads to that result?
Well, we showed them proof of what penalties can do to a football team. We averaged almost 500 yards a game last year, 35-plus points, and you would think, man, that's a lot. But we lost so many drives due to penalties, pre-snap penalties, and that was the biggest thing. We got some penalties tonight, aggressive penalties. Those are going to be part of the game. We got a couple that, guy sees that on the video and went, I can't believe that was me, Coach. So we can get those things worked out. But I do like the way they're flying around, and when you fly around and get after it, there's going to be a penalty or two. But the execution penalties weren't there, and that is a great, great thing for those kids.
Mike, pleasure as always. Final thoughts from game 1 and a 1-0 start.
Well, I'm just excited for our football team. I told them in the locker room, and I guess they thought I was weird. Just everybody take a knee, and I want you to take a deep breath. Made it totally quiet. I said, now, how's that smell? Okay, now look around. How do you see that? And then I said, hey, be quiet and just listen. So I wanted to understand what it felt like to be in the locker room where you came out and you played hard and you played exciting and say, hey, I like that smell, I like that vision, and I like that sound. And let's get used to it and let's play that way.
Mike, congrats on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Adam. Thanks.